practice it. Now at 72, I realize every minute doing one thing is a minute not doing something else. Every choice is another choice not made, another path grown over and lost. If asked, my philosophy, it would be simply this: savor life, don't press too hard, don't worry too much. Or as the old-timers say, enjoy. But as I said, I never could live by this philosophy and was in fact out working, hustling, trading, scheming, and making a buck as soon as I was old enough to leave my parents' house. When I was 10, Robert Mitchum was arrested in the cold water flat across the street from our apartment in the Bronx. I remember Robert Mitchum as the husky, sleepy-eyed actor who played all those noirish roles that told you there was something not so squeaky clean in Bing Crosby's America. But Mitchum got those parts only after the arrest, in which he was caught in bed with two girls in the middle of the day smoking dope. No small scandal. In those days, merely staying in bed till 9 a.m. was considered suspicious. It would have been the end of his career if not for some genius movie producer who realized all that public disgust could be harnessed by repackaging the actor into a dark, interesting, complicated character. When the story broke, the parents in my neighborhood went wild. The Shonda! This matinee idol picks our block to engage in his immorality. The Yantas went up and down the street wailing. One of the mothers on Jerome Avenue grabbed me by the collar and said, "Jerry, you're the younger generation, an American boy. What do you think of this actor with his chippies and his Mexican cigarette?" I smiled with my hand out, because I had just made a delivery and was waiting for a tip. "I'll never see another one of his movies," I told her. "He has shamed not just our neighborhood, but all of the Bronx." Then to tease her, I said, "And did you hear? He's Jewish." "No, it can't be. You're joking." "No joke. My brother Melvin says they pulled tefillin and a prayer book out of that dirty little room." "Oh, God, I'm going to faint." "Not yet," I said, waving my hand, and the purse came out, followed by a few well-circulated nickels. Of course, I wasn't really disgusted by Robert Mitchum's behavior. I was awed. What did I think? I applauded the man. In bed with two women in the middle of the day? That's the dream. That's Hollywood. I was born in Brooklyn, raised in the Bronx. When people ask where I'm from, I always say Brooklyn, though I spent only my earliest years in the borough. Brooklyn because when you hear the Bronx, you think baseball, vacant lots, tenement fires, whereas when you hear Brooklyn, you think guys. In my oldest memories, I am on the street with a roving pack of kids. We hung out beneath the Jerome Avenue L, where the shadows made complicated patterns. The sidewalks were lined with Irish and Italian bars. On my way to school, I would see the drunks at their stools having their first shots of the day. We stayed there for hours, talking about what we wanted. We played stickball and stoop ball. The Spalding bounced off the third step of the brownstone, arcing against the beams of the elevated. When a train went by, it rained sparks. If you listened to us, you would not have understood half of it, everything being in nicknames, slang, and code. My brother Melvin was and is my best friend. 2 years younger, not a resentful bone in his body, though he had to pay for my sins in school. Mel Weintraub, Jerry's brother, you sit in the back and keep your mouth shut. The neighborhood was bounded by big roads to the south and the Hudson River to the west, with a distant view of the Palisades. Manhattan was just a 20-minute subway ride, but a light year away. At night, when the IRT train went over Jerome Avenue, its windows aglow, I dreamed of going to the city. I was impatient to see the world. Now and then, tired of gray days in the classroom, I cut school and caught a train to Times Square instead, where I sat through 2 features and a floor show at the Roxy or the Paramount or one of the other grand show palaces. The velvet curtains, the plush aisles, the stars and stage sets and glamour. This is where I fell in love with movies. Back to Bataan with Robert Taylor, pursued with Robert Mitchum. Here comes Mr.